we're attacking one of the most common roadblocks of a swap, headers. And then we're gonna build out a simple exhaust with a universal X-pipe kit, bullet mufflers, and turndowns in this Chevelle. To catch up on the engine and trans install, watch the previous videos in this series here. Now, even though the Gen 5 LT is 12 years old, there's still very few swap header options on the market and nearly nothing for application-specific exhaust systems. All hope is not lost though. Let us show you what is available for both cast manifolds and full-length headers. We'll check out each of those fit in this car, and then show you how a universal X-pipe kit can be fabbed up to work as exhaust. As leaders in the swap industry, it's our duty to test fit major swap components like headers and make sure that our motor mount adapter plates and other critical swap parts fit well together to save you time and money. In fact, this swap project led to a minor redesign of our LT motor mount adapter plates, but we'll highlight this change later in the video. For now, let's start with unboxing these parts, grabbing some wrenches, and fitting them in the car. So these are the Hooker LT swap manifolds. Opening the box here, they look a lot like the old LS swap manifolds, except with the LT bolt pattern. So it's 5 bolts common to the cylinder head, 2 bolts common to the exhaust. Let me grab some bolts and we'll shove these in the car. Really just gonna need 2 bolts in these to show you how they fit in the chassis and in the engine bay. Since they aren't the permanent solution, just wanted to give you a look at what they looked like in the car. Passenger manifold looks much the same. Give this thing a look. Wow, man, so these fit really nice, actually. Let me grab the camera and I'll show you that. All right, got the passenger side manifold installed, really tons of clearance. So primarily, we're making sure it doesn't hit the frame. So we've got at least a 1/2 inch here. Looks really good underneath on the K-member, so that's cool. Clears the motor mounts and stuff, just no problem whatsoever. And looking down past where the starter would eventually be, just no clearance problems at all. So be able to build exhaust off of these, no sweat. Let's give a look at the driver's side. Driver's side, same thing, clears the steering by a ton here, at least a full inch on all of that. Kind of looking underneath, clears the motor mount stuff, no problem down there, so no issue. Clears the K-member by a mile. The collector flange misses the frame by a bunch. It's not pointed straight at the lower A-arm mount. Like, these look really good. So for you manifold guys that aren't concerned about the performance of a full-length header, these Hooker manifolds look really good for these LTs. I guess to lead off, I'll say that very few people are making swap headers for the Gen 5 LT yet. Luckily, Speed Engineering has a whole array of them as they've adapted their LS swap headers to the LT stuff. So we grabbed this part number 25-1058 that they claim to fit their A bodies, F bodies, X bodies, and even C10 truck, all in the same part number. So we've already given this a test fit. Notice that this 1 tube laid against the frame rail. So a little bit of massaging with a hammer gets this thing to clear by about 1/4 inch. So dent this tube in is good to go. And I'll let you know while I'm bolting this in that I had called their tech sales guy to let him know. And he said they did fit these in a 68-72 and they had no problems. That it must just be these earlier 64-67 with a little narrower front frame rail. That is the issue. So these can work. Adjust them with the hammer as needed. And then I'll show you how they fit from underneath and give you an alternative solution once I get this bolted in to show you how it fits. You'll notice I installed this with no gasket in it yet, so it's going to be spaced out another, 1/16 of an inch or some inconsequential amount. But I'll show you how this fits right now. Let me grab a light and we'll take a look. All right, so this passenger side header, as I mentioned here, was a little close. So the number 4 primary there was getting into the frame a bit. Adjusted it with a hammer so you can see how it's flattened to clear there. About 1/4 inch now to the frame rail. So just a few love taps with a hammer and then that thing goes by. Otherwise it looks like it will clear the headers, no problem. Clears the motor mounts and the K-member and everything underneath just by a ton. So no real apparent issues there. So I tried to stick the driver's side header in from the top. Unfortunately, it hits the steering column, can't get it by there. If you're used to old small block Chevy, big block Chevy stuff, you usually have to put this header in up from the bottom. So we're gonna lift the car and stick it up from the bottom. So we'll put the driver's side header in from underneath, which looks like a piece of cake, actually. All right, so let's give these a look from underneath. Yeah, we'll just look at the driver's side. So nice clearance there, totally clear of the motor mount. Clears the K-member underneath pretty well, that's good. Clears the motor mount adapter. Ooh, that light is poorly placed. It's all right. Clears motor mount. Clears the K-member, super nice. So the motor mount adapter plate is close to the primary header tube there, which was the redesign I had mentioned earlier. So this was the original 551-363X that was straight across the top edge. Well, the redesign on this project actually reprofiled this top edge to give us more clearance to that primary tube that swept by, giving us probably 3/8 to a 1/2 inch clearance there. So totally cleared the headers from the motor mount adapter plates. This new design should be available on the shelves now. Tons of room to the oil filter here. I've seen some old LS swap headers that get real close, so that's gorgeous. Clears the lower control arm mount. That's good. Oh, okay. Here's the first issue that I've noticed. This is the O2 bung that comes factory in this on the top side here. Points up into the transmission. Now there's some space here. So this may fit a sensor, but really it should be on the outboard side pointing out. So we'll weld another bung in for that. Pretty good alignment here to the transmission cross member so the exhaust will pass through. Oh boy, okay, same thing on this side. This is the O2 sensor bung and the passenger header crashes right into the floor. This is a, I don't know, 3-finger width or whatever. There's no possible way an O2 sensor is gonna hit here. Really, it should have a bung here on the outboard side, which it doesn't, so that's a no bueno. We're gonna have to weld another one on. As far as the frame clearance goes, this is where I had adjusted it up in here to get off that frame. So that works with a little bit of love. Gonna be tons of room to the starter down here. All the room in the world to this engine mount and such. So really no problems there. Plenty of clearance to the K-member, that looks good. Room to the lower control arm mount. So I'd say other than O2 sensor placement and a little bit of love on the one primary tube, these fit pretty well for being a rather universal header. So that's the deal with these for now. So after seeing how the A-body header hit the frame on this side and then the O2 sensor was pointed to no man's land in there, I took a hard look at the Speed Engineering website and I saw their G-body headers look a little more compact as far as the primary tube sticking out towards the frame. And I also noticed that they put the O2 sensor in the right spot. So I grabbed a set out of inventory here and we're gonna stick in the car and see if it fits any better. Ooh, it has hope. Here we go. Okay, wow. Amazingly better. All right, let me grab the camera and show you guys this. All right, underneath the car now with the G-body header in here. Tons of room here, so starter clearance is gonna be glorious. Right here, ooh, I am zoomed too far in. Right here is where the frame had the clash with the A-body headers, but these things clear splendidly. So that looks good. And avoid bumping my head. Ta-da, they even put the O2 sensor where it should be on the outside. Aims pretty well at the cross member here, so the exhaust may have to do just a tiny dog leg down to get under that, but it'll be real close. Should be no problem at all. So looking good. G-body header and an A-body on the passenger side. All right, so while we had some time, we dropped the driver's side header out of this thing and I put a plug in this O2 sensor bung, which would hit the transmission right here anyways. And it's stainless, so I had them TIG an O2 bung in the stainless here on the outboard side. So now an O2 sensor can go here, that'll be no problem at all. So now we're looking really good here. Exhaust is just gonna be a piece of cake. That thing clears the trans cross member here, totally clear of the transmission, shifter stuff, no issue at all. So looking good underneath here. Header gasket. I prefer these OEM style MLS gaskets. I don't really like the Felpro fabric things or whatever those are called, but these are an OEM style. They only go one way. Unlike the LS, the LT, you cannot flip your exhaust manifolds backwards. You could turn them from this side to that side, of course, because the cylinder heads change the side to side, but you can't take this and flip it that way. Not at all, and that's because this pattern zigzags up, down. So. Big shout out to GM on these. They learned their lesson on the LS after the original, the OG small block Chevy. When they spaced out the exhaust ports here, they didn't put the exhaust bolts right next to the exhaust ports. So you remember on small block Chevy stuff or even small block Ford, the bolts would always be right here next to the ports, and then it'd be a pain in the ass to get the bolt through there or get a wrench on it. So I just love these. You can get straight on them with a small ratchet, shallow socket. Or my favorite tool are these flex head gear wrenches. So these have just been amazing. Many props to GM on all that. These being an M8 bolt, probably supposed to be something like 22 foot-pounds, 18 to 22. Using a short wrench like this, you probably can't over tighten it anyways. Or if you can, you're stronger than me. All right, feeling good. Let's do the other side. All right, with the motor mount tight, let's get another header gasket in here. So since there's no application-specific exhaust systems for this car, we use Speed Engineering's 25-1033 is their universal 3-inch X-pipe kit. So it's stainless, really nice components in the steel. So I'm gonna open this box, show you what's included, lay it all out on the floor, and then show you how we used this same kit under the car with mufflers and turndowns. All right, so in these kits, there's a full 180 here. This is 3-inch stainless, like I mentioned. Again, since it's universal, you can fit and fab and cut whatever you need to do to get it to fit under the car. These are the 45s that go behind the X-pipe, so I'll lay those back here. This is the actual X-pipe. This is what really sets the tone of the car. When you rev a car with an X-pipe to like 7,000 RPM, it sounds like 8,000 RPM, so that's why I always do it, because they sound super cool. Got a bag of clamps, another bag of clamps, and these are the lead pipes. And you know they're the lead pipes because they're expanded here, so this fits onto the collector of your headers. So we got a pair of those. All right, so this is the basic layout of the system. You get a couple U's or 180s if you wanted to try to turn up and build tailpipes to go up and over the rear end housing. We just put turndowns that dumped at the rear end housing, so we didn't use it. But let me show you here. This is really how it works. So these go onto your collectors. They work through the X-pipe, so this has to be behind your transmission mount. Transmission will live kind of in this space. Here's your X-pipe, and you get going to the rear where you put your mufflers and your turndowns. So let me grab these components and walk you under the car to show how we use this kit to build exhaust on the car. This part goes here. It slips on the collector on the header, and that locates your X-pipe here. Now the thing is since the Speed Engineering header collectors are offset by about 6 inches, as we came back with the driver's side, we had to put or fabricate like a 6-inch extension. So we had some other 3-inch stainless piping, I guess. And so we just made an extension that bridged from the collector to the inlet side of the lead pipe here. So those parts came together here. We got the X-pipe fitted here and braced. So coming out of the X-pipe, then you have, I guess what I'll call the rear pipes, but it's the pipe, maybe a mid-pipe's a better term for it, that comes out of your X-pipe and heads back to your muffler. Now the mufflers on these Chevelles live under the back seat, so there's kind of a well or space back here where you could put a wide-bodied chamber muffler. So to get the mufflers clear back to where they need to live from these mid pipes, we had to put another 12-inch extension. So again, we had some just stainless 3-inch pipe, put a 12-inch extension there, and then got these bullet mufflers located up here in where the mufflers belong on these cars. The factory hangers are on this cross member back here in the car. I couldn't quite get all the way there. So what I did was weld hangers on the top side of the next extension pipe before the turndowns, and then I stuck them on the back side of the rear seat belts. So we ran those up with the rubber straps and used the 7/16 bolt that goes into the back seat belts. So that worked out quite well. This is nice and rigid here. Got plenty of clearance to the drive shaft between the mufflers and the drive shaft here. So looks good, sounds good. We turned the turndowns out just a little bit. So this, as we're doing burnouts and such, we'll blow the smoke out this way from behind the tires. If for some reason I dropped an exhaust valve or whatever, if I put oil out the exhaust, it wouldn't put it under in front of my tires, it would be behind the tires. So let me give you a quick recap on the whole system from front to back. On the driver's side, because the collectors were in different positions on the car, I had to do an extension on the driver's side. On the passenger side, you'll recall in the headers video that the passenger side collector was a little bit high relative to the cross member. We did end up having to dimple the top side of this lead pipe here, but it's just, a dent with a socket, puts a little whoop-de-doo in there, and then it clears the trans cross member. X-pipe looking good in the middle here. It's right under the drive shaft and drive shaft loop, so no problem. Mid pipes as provided from Speed Engineering to a 12-inch extension, bullet mufflers under the back seat, another 12-inch extension to get on hangers, and then turn downs pointed slightly out. So pretty basic system. This thing should sound pretty rowdy, so really looking forward to getting this thing on the ground and letting her rip. So now that we're done with headers and exhaust under the car, let's get this thing on the ground and move on to fitting front accessories on the front of the engine. We will do that in the next video in our series. In the meantime, click here for more videos from ICT Billet and click here to subscribe to our channel. Until next time.